Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the law of sines. Okay, what's the law of sines? It says this: for a triangle with angles A, B, and C and side lengths of little a, little b, and little c, where little a is opposite angle A and little b is opposite angle B and little c is opposite angle C, then the sine of angle A over A is equal to the sine of angle B over B is equal to the sine of angle C over C. Now, it does not matter um, if you have a 90-degree angle in the triangle for this to work. This works for all triangles. Okay, so the law of sines is used when you have a known angle across from a known side, like this. Okay, so now the first thing you want to make sure that you do is that you properly label all the sides. So here's angle A, which means this is side A over here. Notice here's angle B and there's side B. There's angle C, that makes this C. Okay, I have a known side across from a known angle. So I'm going to use the sine of 48 degrees over 62 in order to solve this triangle. In order to find, I'll just solve the whole triangle. So when it says solve a triangle, it means find all the sides and all the angles. Okay, so here's the thing. I have to find C next because I know this side here. So I got to find the angle that's across from it. So here's the problem. Sine of 48 over 62 is going to equal the sine of C over 45. Okay, now remember when you're solving a proportion, this is my variable. The variable is always going to be equal to the two numbers that are diagonal from each other multiplied together. So in this case, 45 times the sine of 48 degrees divided by the other number, which is 62 here. So I get out my handy dandy TI-84 plus C Silver Edition graphing calculator, or a reasonable facsimile thereof, and I do this problem. So 45 times the sine of 48, make sure to close your parentheses. And then I'm going to take that answer and divide it by 62. And I'm going to get the sine of C is equal to 0.5394. Go out 4 decimals. So I've rounded to 4 decimals. And really, technically, then I suppose I should put approximately equal to here. Now, a lot of people will stop. They think they're done, but we haven't found the angle yet. This is not the angle. This is the sine of the angle. So I'm going to arc sine both sides of this. So I'm going to go second sine. Now, I'm going to be smart, and I'm going to use my second answer key. Remember, the answer key is the blue key right below the 3 here. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to take the exact answer to this, which I use an approximate sign. It's going to take it out many more decimal places. I guess it's not really exact, but it's more exact. I hit enter, and I'm going to get C is approximately 32.64. We're just going to round angles to 1 decimal point, so we're going to go 32.6 degrees. Okay, there is angle C. I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to write that 32.6 degrees in here. Okay? Now I did all this work to find angle C. Okay. There's angle C. Now I'm going to find angle B. That's going to be really easily done because there's 180 degrees in every triangle. So I'm going to take away 48. That leaves 132 degrees. And then I'm going to subtract 32.6 degrees. So that's going to be 99.4 degrees. Okay, so that's going to be this one right here. So I've found angle B. I'm done with that. That's a terrible B, so let's fix that thing up. Okay, now I got to find side B. So side B, I'm going to go back to, these are my exact numbers right here. I'm going to go back to this, the sine of 48 degrees over 62 is going to equal the sine of 99.4 degrees over B. And now I'm going to go ahead and solve that proportion. So b, as my variable, is going to equal the two diagonal numbers, 62 times the sine of 99.4 divided by the sine of 48. So 62 sine 99.4. Take that answer, divide that by sine of 48. And I get 82.3. And about 3.1. And again, this should be approximately equal to. And we'll go ahead and put that right there. Okay. So now you should always double check. When you get a triangle like this, and you know all the sides and all the angles, the biggest side should always be across from the biggest angle. So here's my biggest angle, there's my biggest side. That's good. The smallest side should be across from the smallest angle. 45 is the smallest side, 32.6 is the smallest angle. So it doesn't tell you, yes, you're right, but it will tell you if you're wrong if you got that out of order. And of course, the medium angle is always across from the medium side. Okay, we're going to solve this triangle. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you pause the video here and try to do what I just did, and then jump back on and see how you did. Okay, so I have a known angle across from known side, so I'm going to choose to use that. The sine of 89 degrees divided by 130. Here's my angle. This is the side that goes with it. So the sine of 23 degrees is going to go on top, and S is going to go on the bottom here. So S is going to equal 130 times the sine of 23 degrees divided by the sine of 89. All right, so I get out my calculator. 130 times the sine of 23, and take that divided by the sine of 89. And I'm going to get about 50.8. Okay, so this side is going to be 50. Okay, I can also figure out R because 180 minus 89 leaves 91, and then I'm going to subtract 23, and that's going to leave 68 degrees. That's got to go right here. So angle R is 68 degrees. And now I can figure out little r here, because we'll go back to the original. Sine 89 degrees over 130 is going to equal the sine of 68 degrees over r. And now I can figure out r, because r is going to be 130 sine 68 divided by sine of 89. So 130 sine 68 divided by sine of 89. It's about 120.55. Okay. 120.55. All right, let's check and see. Is our biggest side across from our biggest angle? Biggest angle, biggest side. Yes. Okay. Medium side across, or medium side across from the medium angle. Small side across from the small angle. Okay, I'm going with this. Now, the reason you want to check that is there is a weird situation where there is more than one solution to these problems. It's a special case, and this will tip you off that you've got the wrong answer, okay, when that happens. So always check that. Is the biggest side across from the biggest angle? Okay, and is the smallest one across from the smallest angle? Okay, here we go. We got a yacht at sea out here. All right, here's the yacht. It's out in the sea. It can see the tops of two lighthouses that are 85 miles apart of the coast. So lighthouse one here is, or the north one is 85 miles from the south one. Okay. The angle from the coast to the yacht to the north lighthouse is 12 degrees. So this angle from the coast, here's the coast is all along here. From the coast of the yacht to the lighthouse is 12 degrees. All right, the south lighthouse angle is 34 degrees. So this angle right here is 34 degrees. How far is the yacht from the coast? How far is the yacht from the north lighthouse and from the south lighthouse? So basically I have to solve this picture. Okay, so I'm going to find x. I'm going to find y, and I'm going to find z. Okay, so here we go. I have to start out, I have to find some other angles here. So what do I know? I know this is 90 and that's 12, so 180 minus 90 is of course 90, minus 12 leaves 78. So this is 78 degrees right here. This angle down here is going to be 180 minus 90 because of this 90-degree angle. That leaves 90. Minus 34 leaves 56 degrees. That's that angle right there. Okay, now I can find some sides and stuff. So I got to start with the big triangle because all I know is this distance here is 85 miles. I also know that this angle right here is 46 degrees. So I have a known angle across from a known side. So I can say, well, the sine of 46 degrees is equal, or I'm sorry, over 85 is going to equal the sine of 78 degrees. Now, here's the tricky part. Which side is across from the 78 degrees? Oh, that's z right here. Okay? So I'm going to find z at this point. Okay. So maybe, since this is z we're finding, I should make all this orange to go with it. Okay. Now we go ahead and solve it. Z is going to equal 85 times the sine of 78 divided by the sine of 46. Okay. Get out my calculator. 85 sine 78 divided by sine 46. Z comes out to be 115.58 miles. Okay, so I've solved this one. Okay, now I can find y. Let's get all this together. Do this in blue. Okay, so again, we're going to, whoops. There we go. So we're going to go back to the sine of 46 over 85 is going to equal the sine of 56 over y. Okay. Now that tells me y is going to be 85 times the sine of 56 degrees divided by the sine of 46 degrees. 85 sine 56 divided by sine 46. Okay, so y is approximately 97.96 miles. Okay. Let's fix this 8. There we go. Okay, so go back to our picture here. 97.96 miles. All righty. Now I got to find the distance to the coast. Okay, so here's the way I'm going to find it. I need, this distance right here is part of the small triangle and part of the medium-sized triangle. It is not part of the big triangle. So I need to use the small triangle, or I can use the big one or the medium one. It doesn't matter. But I'm going to choose the small one. I've got an angle across from a known side. So this would be the sine of 90 degrees over y is going to, I'm sorry, y, I already know y. Y is 97.96. Okay, that's going to equal the sine of 78 degrees over x. Okay. Now, this is one of those rare circumstances where I'm going to use something that I calculated that has an error in it to solve for something else because I don't really have a choice. Okay, so here we go. X is going to be 97.96 times the sine of 78 degrees divided by the sine of 90, which turns out is just 1. So I just have to figure out the top of this thing. So here we go. Sine 78 comes out to be 95.82. That's in miles. All right, so let's go put that in here. All right, now let's just make sure all this is reasonable. Okay, so biggest angle across from biggest side. Let's see, this is going to be a hypotenuse, so it's going to be a little longer than the leg. So yes, that looks good. This is the hypotenuse, should be a little longer than the leg. That looks good. All my these angles all add up to 180. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. Okay, there we go. You're going to see some of those probably on your test, just like that one. The highest bridge in the world is the bridge over the Royal Gorge of the Arkansas River in Colorado. Sightings to the same point at water level directly under the bridge are taken from each side of the 880-foot-long bridge. So here's the bridge up here. It's 880 feet from here to here. Okay. How high is the bridge? So we got to calculate how high that thing is. Okay, we don't have a side across from an angle, not a known side anyway. So here's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to go to this angle right here. So I know that there's 180 degrees in a triangle. I know 69.2 of them are right there. So I'm going to subtract that. That's going to be 110.8. And I know that 65.5 of them are over there, so I'm going to take those away. That leaves me at 45.3 degrees. That's this angle down here. Okay. Now I've got a known angle across from a known side. Now, it doesn't matter which. I'm going to have to find one of these two sides. It doesn't matter which one. So let's see, if I call this x right here, then I know that the sine of 45.3 over 880 is going to equal the sine of 69.2 degrees over x. Okay. Now, I could have done this finding this side over here, and the only difference would be this wouldn't be 69.9, it'd be 65.5. I'm going to end up with the same answer regardless. Okay. So now x is going to be 880 times the sine of 69.2 degrees divided by the sine of 45.3 degrees. So I punch that into my calculator. And I get x is 1,157.35 feet. So that's this over here. Now, why did I figure that side out? Well, I need to get this side, which means I need to have a known angle across from a known side in either this triangle or this triangle. Now I've got in this triangle here. Okay, so now what I can do is I know that this side is across from a 90-degree angle. I can say sine of 90 divided by 1,157.35 is going to equal the sine of 65.5 over h. And now I know that h is going to equal this times this divided by that, which again, sine of 90 is just 1, so that should be easy. I really only have to do the top of this thing. Okay, this comes out to be 1,053.15 feet. And there we go. That tells me how tall this thing's going to, that's how high this bridge is, 1,053.15 feet. There you go. You're done. Okay, finding the area of a triangle in a side angle side position. Okay, this, let's see. There is a formula for this. So, okay, so we've got a formula that will find the area of this thing right here. Okay, and basically this is the formula. The area of a triangle is going to be 1/2 of A times B times the sine of angle C. Now, if I label this thing properly, let's say I know these two sides, so I call this A and B, it doesn't matter which one's which. That would make this side C here, which would make this angle C. This would be angle B, and this would be angle A. Okay, it's important that you have the sides and the angles properly labeled. Okay, so basically it's 1/2 of a side times another side times the sine of the angle between them. Okay, so very simply right here, the area is going to be 1/2 of 36 times 45 times the sine of 41 degrees. Okay, so very simple to calculate here. So times 45 times the sine of 41. That comes out to be 531.41, and that's in square centimeters. Okay, so be careful, because that's the first time you've seen an area problem with trig. Okay, So make sure you're doing the right thing. So what's this formula? Again, half of one side times another side times the sine of the angle between them. Okay? And that's it. So I haven't put the worksheet on here yet. I will do that before I send the notes to you. Hope you guys got all that well, and have a great day. I'll talk to you later.